Okay guys, let's start our to-do app. I've already done yarn install. I can do yarn start just to make sure that it is working. It should say hello world. Okay, hello world. So let me zoom in here. Okay, so help me with the structure. Starting with the app component, what do I need?
Task input component.
Should we do that one first? Okay, let's do that one first. No, it's fine. Task input. Never worked. For me, it never worked.
I think that.
Need to import it. Import from /task input.
What? No.
Okay, delete this. What does this need? Input of type text. Okay, now it works.
Yeah. Whoa.
And it doesn't like buttons. Because I also need to return to. Let's instead of this, let's do a form. Doesn't like me. No.
What is happening?
My God, I wanted to do the shortcuts.
But do the other way, because you already know that your shortcuts are the long way.
Click
so
there.
Click with the mouse. Click
No.
What is that for your computer?
Do a form,
The
bro.
input was fine.
But
No,
now
the
it
form-
changed. Before it had types of ID, all these things. Not consistent. Okay.
It's sometimes, I mean, input, then input, input, text submit.
Can be a button, or is better to be a...
It can be, but I mean, if, yeah, it can be both. Let me just see, submit, working.
Oh, then what are you doing that? Okay.
Okay, what else do we need? What else do we need? After this, we need a task list, close. And a task list needs tasks. So I'm going to create some tasks here. An array of something. What is the something?
Washing.
The what?
The task name.
Yeah.
The task, whatever is the task. No?
What about the is done and not done?
Oh, you want to put this here?
Yeah, because some one task needs like wash carpet. I have no idea what tasks are. And a false to say that it's not done. Sorry, this is name this and that is done.
Oh, that makes sense on my own.
And another task can be walk, dog, true. Okay, you have two tasks, enough to test. Let's give tasks to test it. Tasks equal import task list
From,
from
App?
task list,
oh.
right?
No, we haven't done.
We haven't done it yet. J. Let's copy this. This is just because I'm lazy, you get it, right? Delete this. So in the task list is the what?
Well,
UL
with the lead, with the AI.
with the li inside. Yeah, one or many?
As many as you have.
As many as I have, right? So I'm gonna do task.map.
Oh.
It also gets tasks from here. Right. Tasks.
I'm never gonna think of all these things. Task list on that, I'm not gonna immediately go to that.
But you'll do this so many times that it will become so automatic.
If
You'll
it
see this
doesn't,
pattern a
I
lot
will
of
keep
times.
my vendors on.
Hope it's not me. Okay. And this returns a li that it doesn't let me do a shortcut. Okay. With a task inside.
Yeah.
And the task takes a task.
What in the name of Jesus?
Does it make sense?
No. Yeah, no.
Let me try to format it better. See if it becomes more clear.
I know that it should, but no.
Your lens is making me more anxious. Thank you.
And this is saying I haven't imported.
There is no task file.
No, still. Okay, what am I doing? I'm receiving from app, I'm receiving tasks, right, which are objects inside of an array. So it's an array of objects. And in tasks list, I get an array, so I can iterate over an array and create as many LIs as I have as tasks. Right, and inside of each LI, I will have a task that has the functionality that I'm gonna give. So I'm gonna create a task. And the task, import React from React. This, is it a concept or, so is it a functional component or a class component? Yeah. Class task extends components. And then what do I need in the render? I receive a task, right? Why don't I just try something? Sorry, because I need a return. No?
Dot enter. Dot tab.
Okay.
Or not.
Just going to return task for now. And now it's saying prefer stateless function, etc.
Oh.
Right? Because it's saying, okay, if you don't have a state, then you can just do a functional component. But in this case, I will have a state. This dot state equals, what's in the state?
No?
Why you put the concentration in the object? The only thing I didn't understand.
Yeah, it's because I was thinking the other way around. Like I was thinking of saving instead of using a state. I think it makes sense to put it in the prop. So put it in here, right? This is kind of our fake database. I think it makes more sense to store it here than in the state of the components.
But then you are going to change props and not state.
Yeah. So in this case,
Is a good practice, no?
no state. Goodbye state.
I don't understand.
You don't understand why?
No, because they say in the documentation that it's not a good practice to, when you have a thing that is going to change,
Yeah.
must be on state and not on property, on props.
No.
That's, I read the same thing she did.
Okay, so what you're saying maybe is if this component wants to change something that it's using, it should have it as, or what it's basic, how should I put it? This component should not do anything to the props. Like if it's receiving props, it should just show the props. Like it should never do any computing on the props, right?
Yeah.
But if this component wants to process data and show different data, then you should put it on the state. So, how can I explain it better? This that we have here, if we want to do processing on this, so change the is done and change the is done for each. Maybe we will see later. It will be a good idea that app as a state instead of each task, because each task, since this is our fake database, it will be stored here. The true or false, the is done, will be stored in a state of the big of the parent.
Of the parent, not in the.
Yeah, I think that would be a better approach because, and this one will just be a stupid, dumb component that just receives stuff and shows. It's not responsible for keeping the state of each task. You see what I mean?
Yes.
Do you want to do it the way you were doing and then change it?
No, you can do as you last time.
Is everyone understanding what we are going to do? Sure? Do you have questions?
Specific questions, down.
So what I am saying, see if you agree, or see if you're comfortable with this. I'm saying we will remove the state from here because we will read the status of the task from here. Yeah?
Just is not changing.
But then why are you making app a class? Why would you make app a class in the state?
To give it, to put this in the state instead of being a constant that is here lying around.
Oh, okay, so get rid of the constant?
Get rid of not get rid, put this information inside of the state.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with removing state from here?
What happens if we say no?
So I'm going to do const, and this will take a prop that is task. And it doesn't need a return. You can just do this for now. And it's complaining about indentations. default task.
List them.
Yeah, but then you won't have to fix anything when you're done programming. You're just doing small steps as you go. Okay, what are we doing? Let's see maybe if this renders something. Task, what is it saying? Unresolved because task. I spelled it correctly, right?
Maybe because you haven't used task yet.
And they are complaining about the task canceling the task. So there?
Yeah, it's because we haven't used the task.
Ah, okay.
We can do this. But this one, I don't think, well, let's see. Let's test it. See what the problem is. No, it's not, there's no problem. What I was saying is, let's print here the true or false. Let's say task dot is done.
Is that a hyphen?
Yes. Just put a random hyphen to separate stuff.
Oh, okay.
Separate
Okay.
stuff in the string. Yeah. Let's say done or to do.
Or
Not a
the
call.
X thing, right?
Yeah. Let's do that later. Let's just see. Okay. Let's fix these lint errors later. What I was saying is, let's put this task inside of the state. Yeah? So we want to change the state when we receive something like a click event that we will do. So turn this into a class component because we need to add state. Class app extends component. It's complaining that we don't need this because we don't have state, but we will give it state. Constructor props and the state will be the initial state will be what?
Huh?
The initial state. So when this, no, the
Wow.
initial state of tasks. So I was saying that I'm going to keep tasks inside of the state.
Okay.
Because
Like
when
an
like an object, because when I receive a click here, you will click the task. I will want to change the state from is done to is not done. The is done to true, from true to false.
Is done and then colon, exclamation point is done. Right?
I mean, what tasks
No.
was an array. Wait, sorry, was an array of tasks. I can just say that tasks is these tasks.
I'm for that, you have that.
Yeah. What is it complaining about? Space before block. And it's saying prefer. Doesn't want this. It doesn't want what extra spaces. And it's also saying, my linter is saying, fix this object shorthand problem. So this object shorthand is, if I want to do an object that has this key task with an object and say that it assign it to a variable or put here a variable task, I can just say task and it should fix it. Yeah, now it's complaining from another thing. Right? So instead of doing tasks, I can do tasks. and it knows that it will look for something tasks to put inside.
The word tasks has no meaning now, right? Since that time.
And now we want to get this from the state. How do I do it?
Then hit dot state dot task.
Or you can do the deconstruction.
The deconstruction, right?
Or the
Destructuring. Const. I want to get task from this dot state. Now there's something here that isn't a good idea that I will change. We shouldn't call this the same name. Let's call it test list or something. And then here call test. Yes. It's not a good idea because here,
Many tasks.
yeah, here if you're doing just tasks, you have tasks that are coming from this dot state and you have tasks that are defined here. No. No, we have a task list, but it's a component. Okay, is this still working? Still working, great. So now let's take care of, what do we have? The structure is done. The state is done.
How do you say when you click to the task, you change it?
So let's click a task and say something when we click it. So we add an onClick.
It has to be here?
So that's
Yeah,
where we want to click, right?
that's where you want to click, yeah. Okay, the onClick takes a function. I can say, for example, console log.
Console?
Console. Console. Oh, hello. Okay, disregard the errors because we can't do console log, that's why it's complaining. So I'm going to click a task and hope for a console log. Let's put this down to the bottom. Let's fix also this. Each child in list should have a unique key prop. Remember how we fixed this?
Give a key.
We just give a key here.
Give a key to that.
Key, and we can do task.name. For example, just needs to be unique among the siblings. Okay, if we click, hello, 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 hello. Cool. So, but instead of, where is my clicking? Instead of having all of this here, I can just create another const. I can just create a function inside of here. And for that, first I need to turn this into a function without implicit return. And I close this, and I close this. And I need a const to say handleClick. handleClick takes nothing, and it's going to do console log. So I'm just going to do small steps, see if everything is still working. What is it complaining? Quick events. Key events. It requires a trick. Is it? Yeah. So it's because only buttons and links can have onClick events. So we do this little trick.
Now you see it.
I can send you a blog post about this. Okay, what did we do here? I simply removed the console log from here to here, right? Because if I want to do some kind of processing or whatever I want to do, I don't want to do it in line in the middle of the JSX. Just make sure this is still working. Still doing console log, great. Wait, I want to zoom in here. You can see it, right?
Yeah.
That's part of my head.
Yeah.
Sorry. We can change places. Put this here. The other one here. Okie doke. So, how am I going to pass this back? So, who's the parent of task? Task list. And who's the parent of task list? App. App is the parent, right? So this goes app, task list, task.
Yeah.
Delete this one. So if I want to do some change here, I will need to pass things from task up 2 levels until I reach app, right? And I will pass this as a prop, the same way that I pass everything else. So I will have, let's start from here maybe. Let's do a function called onAddTask. Task. It receives a task, and it will do console log task received, and then it prints the task that it receives. Okay, so I want to pass. This is called a callback. So I'm going to pass this function to task list, and once I click on the other side, I will say, okay, trigger this function, and it goes back again, and it's going to show me task received. So I'm going to have something here, so I can call it the same name as that I had in the other place, handleClickTask. It's not on that, sorry, it's not on that. It's, we want to mark as done. Yeah, that's what we want to do.
On mark as done?
Yeah, so if we have this type of helper functions, we always call them like on do something, on handle click,
Okay.
on send information, on submit post, just because it's easier when you have like a huge component, and you see on mark as done, you usually know that it's something that is coming in the props and telling you to do some kind of action. So here we pass this function, this dot on mark as done. Yeah, and then I go to task list. On task list, I will receive a handle. It's not mark as done. It's handle click. I'm gonna receive a handle click because it's not handle click. It's handle click task because that's the name of the prop here. I'm gonna go here.
That is a function.
Yeah. And then here, what do? Pass, same thing again. I'm going to pass the one that I received because this is the middleman, right? This guy, task list, needs to receive from the app and send to the task. Let me put this here. I think it will be easier to see. Right? It's receiving from the props and sending it to the props of task. Yeah? Do you understand this flow? We're passing it the same way as any other prop, except that it's a function. It's not a string, it's not an array. Yeah? And when I get here, instead of console logging, well, first I'm going to receive it, handleClickTask, and instead of console log, I will do handleClickTask. And I know also that this function, it's going to require a task, so I will need to pass task.
There is no way, absolutely no way that I can do this on my own. No way.
Oh, we have to practice.
You have to practice, yeah.
Well,
So, but what did we do? We came from We came from the parent app, right? And we wanted to basically connect with task list, which is which is in turn connecting to task, right? And we are listening to an onClick event. And when we click this, we are going to call this prop. And this prop is a function. This prop is an object, right? This one is a function. And if I call it, it's going to go back to app, and it's going to say task received, and it's going to show me what task it is. Yeah, let's try this.
Okay. Task is not like an event. Okay. No.
Task is coming from test. What is task here?
Is an object.
Yeah, it's an object.
So why do you like asking them not?
What do you want to pass? Maybe you want to pass just a name, for example?
No. Hold on.
Okay.
No, show.
Okay, I'm expecting it to say task received and then show the object. So I got task received. Can't you enlarge? God. See here? I clicked wash carpet and I got wash carpet and it says false. Yeah, true. I need to do, oh, sorry, click it. Yeah. And if I click walk dog, I receive walk dog. You see what happened? Can I do the drawing? Can I pause the recording? There's only stop recording. I'm going to stop recording and continue in the next video if we want.